The trilogy continues here in Paris as we go for gold in the Recurve mixed team competition. It's been Korea, Chinese Taipei in the men's and women's team gold. And it's a repeat here in Paris in the mixed.
Target number 1, representing the Republic of Korea, Lim Si-hyun. On target number 2, representing Chinese Taipei, the line judge for this matchup is Hyundai.
Chinese Taipei lining up with Peng Chao-mao and Su Yu-yang. Korea with Lim Si-hyun and Lee Woo-seok. An interesting one for these four because they've already all been out competing in their respective team events. Korea, gold in the men's and women's. Chinese Taipei, silver. Doesn't bode well, does it, for Chinese Taipei?
No, and it's easy to say like, oh, Korea has won the last two, so they will win this as well. But and results from the past don't mean anything in the future, obviously. But I mean, the manner in which the Korean teams shot their team matches as well kind of shows us that they're here and they mean business. I think in some way it's also a bit of redemption for the rest of the season for Korea, because they haven't had the impressive season that we've grown to expect from them. But this tournament so far has been pretty much a showcase. You call it an exhibition of what they're capable of.
It's interesting if you try and put it in context. The Koreans, who've had a poor season by their standards, for most countries it's actually been an okay season with the results they've got. But we're so used to seeing them top the podium that having not done so as regularly this season, this does feel like they're, well, we said it earlier on, marking their territory again.
Yeah, and to give you a little bit of context, that 9 that Lim Se-hyun just shot means that the scores in this match are already going to be lower than the scores they shot in their semifinal against a very strong Chinese team, because they managed to shoot 40 3 times to walk away with the win in their semifinals, which is, to put it in even more context, unheard of. I don't think I've ever seen a mixed team match in which, in Recurve I should say, in which just not a single 9 was shot.
Ludicrous, I think, was the word you used.
It was indeed. And I think that 9 asterisk that we have on the scoreboard will have a very close look from the target.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth there. I've got a 9, 10, 10, 10 on my scorecard, which would mean a 39, but that's that third arrow, isn't it, that they marked for a measure. So right-hand target is the one we're looking at.
Yeah, the asterisk kind of makes sense because from the angle that we were getting, it's difficult to see, but I think for the target judge it's going to be a lot easier to see. But it does look like it's on the line.
Only just, though.
Well, it's just enough.
Just is enough, of course. So exactly what Chinese Taipei would have wanted as a bare minimum to match up to Korea in the first set. They haven't allowed the Koreans to run away with this. And we'll just wait for the final confirmation of the markup. It hasn't been marked up yet on the official scorecard. but indication there that Korea is shooting first in the second set, and just now we've had confirmation that it was 39 for Chinese Taipei, so a share of the set points. So here we go again, Lim Sion on the shooting line.
Yeah, I think the Korean team won't necessarily be intimidated by having to share that 39 set points. They had to do the same against a team of Great Britain, who they shot against in the quarterfinals. Also shared a set of 39. They lost a set to Great Britain, where the British team managed to shoot a 40. So it's not the 6-0 route to the finals that they've had. They've had to overcome some deficits as well.
Well, the 8 so far have proven to be the start of the demise of a team. And as Chef Wrigley says, the Koreans tend to improve through the match. So 17 plays 19 through the first rotation. Korea can put this out of reach with another 19 in the second.
And only 9 is required here from Lee Woo-suk to get this set.
Nine is not enough for Lee Woo-suk. Out of reach for Su Yang and Peng Chiamao. And here, Chef, it's interesting when we look at this grouping for Chinese Taipei. If anything, it's got a little wider.
Yeah, and it's just comparing it to the group of the Korean team. Even the set of 39 was a bigger group. And that's not saying that's a worse set than the one that Korean shot, because obviously they split the set. 39 is 39, but it's kind of like it's more spread apart. Whereas it seems like, and I've talked about this in previous competitions, where sometimes a team will shoot either really good arrows that hit the 10 and then bad arrows that don't hit the 10. And then there's teams that just shoot good arrows and hit the 10, and sometimes they hit the 9. And so it's a bit of a different feel to both of these teams, where it feels like Korea can like deliberately hit a 10, whereas the Taipei team, they shoot a really good shot and they hope they hit the 10. It's a kind of a nuanced thing, but different feel altogether.
There you have it, the inner workings of an archery brain, all on show. I know what you're saying, that the Koreans are, in some respects, it's deliberate what's happening, whereas there's a hint of hope on Chinese Taipei's arrows.
Yeah, and whenever Korea shoots a 9, you can pretty much already see it before the arrow hits the target. Whereas the Taipei team, sometimes they'll have a shot that looks pretty much identical to the shot that hits the middle, and it'll hit a 9 or 8. And I think that's kind of what I'm hinting at.
Chinese Taipei trailing here 3-1 against the resurgent Koreans. And Peng starts set number 3 with a 9. Well, Korea can do this one in 3 sets, but they have to win the set outright, and a 10 to start things off for Lim Sion. She's got to be the breakthrough athlete of the season, hasn't she?
Yeah, so far she has been. And I think looking back at the first archery show that we did this year, somebody,
Here we go.
one of us,
Here we go.
kind of tipped her off as.
Yes, chef. Correct. You said that she was going to be amazing, and you were quite right. It's not that massive a surprise, though, is it? As you were saying, that if you break into the Korean team, you're going to be pretty bloomin' good.
Yeah, especially if you break through, because the selection procedure in Korea is very rough and a very long and tedious process. And if, as a new athlete, you can break through there, I think you need something special.
Yeah. Needing something special here is Su Yu-yang. A 10 would be very nice, and that's a 10 that he's got for a 39. So there is a chance for Korea to do this, but they're going to have to go perfect. There's equally a chance with 2 9s that Chinese Taipei could draw level. There's 1. So we know we're going to go into a 4th set. A 10 for Korea to go 4-2 up. Anything less, and we'll be all square here. Another 9. So the set goes to Chinese Taipei. And despite everything we've been saying about Korea, Chinese Taipei have got themselves right back in the match. And this is about the most pressure that you're going to see the Koreans under going into a 4th regulation set, all square.
Yeah, at least so far it has been. And you can see as well the body language and the facial expressions on the Korean side have kind of changed. You can see that the coach is a bit more stern in his way of expressing himself. So I think they feel that there's a bit of pressure.
And what's going on the Chinese Taipei side of the field? They've kind of ground it out to get to 3-3. Well, certainly Su Yu-yang looks like he's just holding back a little bit of a satisfactory grin. And that's the reaction you get from Lim Si-yeon. 2 9s following 2 10s for the Korean team. Well, not quite the Korean national anthem, but certainly a rousing rendition from one of the fans in the crowd. Crucial 4th set. And Lim Si-yeon starts things off for Korea. All square with Chinese Taipei 3 apiece. With a 10. Matched by her teammate. So going perfect through the first rotation in the 4th and final regulation set. A smile back on the face of Lee Woo-seok.
Going perfect in the first rotation for the 3rd time this match, I should say. But
Just?
Yeah, still on the table for Chinese Taipei as well. If Su here managed to shoot a 10, then they're still tied up in this match.
Oh, he needs it. Oh, it's a 9 now. The Koreans can put this to bed. 2 10s, well within their grasp. They haven't done that yet in the match.
No, but they have in the competition.
A 10 from Lee Woo-seok, and it will be 3 golds out of 3 in the team competitions here in Paris. Taking just a little more time to get to full draw. And a 9 leaves the door open. Chinese Taipei need 2 10s to force this match into a shoot-off. First up, Peng Chamao. Oh, the story of the 8s continue, and that sees this gold medal slip away for Chinese Taipei. one is just on the line for a 36. A disappointing end for Chinese Taipei, but yet again, Korea will be on top of the podium here in Paris on Recurve Sunday. They were pushed to the wire, to be fair, by Chinese Taipei, but Lim Si-hyun and Lee Woo-seok have taken gold in both their individual team competitions, the women's team for Lim, men's team for Lee, and now they've paired up to take the mixed team gold here at the fourth stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup.
It was interesting because the last arrow that Lee Woo-seok shot obviously didn't go into the 10 ring. He shot a 9. And we were saying how they were probably feeling some pressure, but then when he walked off the line, he had a very, well, I would say genuine smile on his face, because he knew he wanted to get that first 40 of the match in. So maybe not as stressful as we thought.
Yeah, they managed to maintain their composure, the Korean team, whatever the circumstances seemingly.